Hello, I am Brandon, the humble host of Actual Play Broadcast. This will serve as an introduction to our broadcast for the time being. As we record and publish more, it shall change. We are still getting things set up, so apologies for any errors, skips, or silence that may occur. Everything will be smoothed out in due time. Please enjoy our broadcasts of various RPGs, and remember to tune in for more every week, as continuations or new adventures will be posted at such times. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
And we're recording.
Welcome.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us for another episode of APB. We are playing the Wrath and Glory from the Warhammer 40k universe. This will be hosted by Daminani, GM'd, hosted, ran, words. They're fake.
I mean, technically, you host everything because you're the dude who posts shit. I'm just running shit.
I'm the host that posts with the most.
Exactly.
For those of you who are jumping in to the second episode and you haven't listened to the first one, things are whack. Things are confusing. Well, for our characters, we as players know exactly what the fuck's going on in our, making do. But if you are just starting here, I would recommend going back.
You're really going to want context.
Yeah, you're going to want context. Wrath and Glory is a system that we are, as a whole, not super familiar with. So if you are a longtime Wrath and Glory fan and know the rules forward and backwards and could recite them from memory, we are going to fuck it up.
Yeah, absolutely. We're all learning this, so there will same preface with that we did last time. We're learning. We're going to mess things up. We're going to learn, slow down at certain moments as we figure out rules that we didn't realize we need to figure out. But if that upsets you, sorry. You're gonna need to get used to it for this. Also, like I said in the last one, this is a 30k game. We're gonna kind of rely on knowing a bit about Warhammer. If you don't know Warhammer, you might be a bit lost. Sorry, we're going to explain some things that might be very specific to this campaign or this section of timeline, but I'm not going to tell you what a Space Marine is or what a Terminator is or a Land Raider.
But that's not to say that you need the prerequisite knowledge. It's just we're going to mention things and you're going to go, well, what is that? If you go look up art of it, you'll see what it is and you can be terrified by it.
Yeah.
But, last we left off, we had just finished, destroying a chaos artifact.
Here, I will actually take over for that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
So when we last left off, we had just accomplished the triumph of the War Master's retribution. You have delivered his anger upon this world, and at least to all effects, you have brought it back into compliance. Now, as you left for extraction, you came to, at first, what you would find a normal sight that quickly became worrying, as when you tab through the Vox channels, you find on wide spectrum broadcasts a warning of suicide bombardment imminent. This provoked our band of hardened warriors to do what hardened warriors do: find shelter. To give a bit more overview and context, as you are all running back successfully to the last known effective bunker where you destroyed a large chaos artifact, there's a course of erupting confusion on the Vox as well. Brandon, Harkin can tell that there is a great amount of world eater confusion. You know your brothers. A call to take cover and get into shelter is both equal parts hard to believe for them, but also maybe a tall order, as your legion is not the most known for keeping close to cover. Especially given what most of your brothers were assigned to do, you can imagine they are out in open terrain of the city streets. Tarek, similarly, towards the end of your mad dash into the tunnels, where you see your last glimpses of the sky, and you begin to hear the binaric screeching of anger and calls to revenge, you know exactly what that could be coming from. And as you instinctively glance to the sky, still not stopping your dead sprint, you can see the small, distant figure of the Galas Xerxes 977 descending from its orbit, fire spewing from various parts of it as its macro cannons continue to still fire at unknown aggressors in orbit. Ephraim, you are the most hardened and not dedicated, but focused of the group. You know exactly what you need to do to survive. Having been a native to Cathonia, this is not. Well, it's not exactly. What was that?
I'm not from Cathonia.
I thought you said you were.
No.
Damn, kill myself. Anyway, being one of Horus's brood, and not having the disadvantage of spending a fair amount of time splitting your service between the Astartes and the Adeptus Mechanicum, not Adeptus Mechanicus, not yet. You are focused and looking at assessing your surroundings even as you go in. You pick up from the Vox through all of the chatter, through the confusion and demands for more information. As the Vox begins to cut out and crackle from just being underground, you can hear a few voices in dissonance yelling out their horrible revelation. It's a virus bomb. And once you are all inside and you manage to close this door, it's silent. You have some time to yourselves. Regardless of the type of bombardment, you know that you're not coming out anytime soon. So, we're starting with some downtime. What would folks like to do while they are sitting in the bunker waiting out the hellstorms outside?
Is there a general like healing sort of like downtime thing we can do?
Yes. I believe when you have rests, I think it's like medium rests. Let me double check because I have the stuff open here. I just need to be on the right page. There is things that at the very least your tech marine with the medical mechadendrite can do to heal.
Huzzah.
Index.
See, I'm trying to find.
Okay, skill 124.
Medicae can heal.
Yeah,
1
Medicae,
plus shift wounds.
I hold.
Now you have a fair bit of time to yourselves. Yes, this is during a regroup period. Is effectively your downtime.
It's saying respite recovers all shock and wounds, reset wrath.
Oh yes, no, that
group ally recovers wounds up to Medicaid plus intelligence or intellect or whatever it's called in this. Recover shock is Medicaid plus tool or wrath, and a Medicaid can heal 1+ shift wounds. So is this a respite?
This is a respite.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey.
Very good.
So you all will be healing regardless, as your tech marine takes the time to make sure everybody is up to snuff.
That is what they would say in the business is poggies.
Yeah, because you guys didn't come out perfectly unscathed against those witches.
Nope. Oh, that's probably under the. Where is the cheat sheet? Why am I not finding the cheat sheet? There's a quick reference. There it is.
Oh, I shall also add, everyone will be getting this bonus for the duration of the campaign. As you are here in the long haul. There is no withdrawing, there is no escaping, as much as you can tell. You are here to fight for your life. You know going forward there will be no mercy, there will be no respite. Outside of respite actions, but regardless.
Okay. So do I
congratulations, you're the first
checks?
instances. What was that?
Do I need to make any Medicaid checks during this?
No. I mean to say there's no respite in the narrative sense of your traitorous brothers will not be sparing your lives.
Okay.
Thus, your wills are hardened enough that you're not going to go routing because there's nowhere to route on this rock. They bombed you. You know there are literally titans outside the city. You're not escaping by just running away.
Okay, so if mechanically we're under respite, we have no wrath. We get all of our stuff back. Shock and wounds.
Yeah, you get all of your stuff back. You're going to be reset to, I believe, Player's Wrath +1, which is going to be 4. And then Player's Wrath Player's +2 Wrath is your max. I reset to 4 Ruin.
I forgot where Faith ever came into.
Mostly had to recover shock.
Her respite takes care of that, so.
Yeah. I'm all set on my end.
I don't know where Faith is, but I'll find it.
You would have to be a particular thing that actually uses faith. There's no like a default. You have X amount of faith or anything like that.
You got to be like a something.
Yeah, definitely not some kind of witch or sorcerer or something. No, and something approved by the ecclesiarchy, obviously.
What's the ecclesiarchy?
There's an ecclesiarchy?
Yeah,
eventually.
Eventually.
There are no sorcerers in the Imperium of Man.
No, definitely. Is there any contact with other, like, are we able to radio out? Or because we're sealed in, is it impossible?
You're sealed in. Your Vox is effectively jammed just from the amount of debris and detritus.
Do we know how long the virus bomb lasts?
Yeah. You guys have been doing this for a few hundred years. You've exterminated a few planets. You're in here for a good 12 to 16 hours. This is going to be your day. You have plenty of time to try to think about what just happened or talk with your compatriots about what you'll do next.
Oh no, my PDF is frozen. Okay, there we go. Never mind, it fixed itself. Brother Ephraim, does your armaments require attention?
I'm fine. I'm just down a magazine.
Indeed. Indeed. World leader, does your armaments require attention?
Oh, no, brother. I'm thinking what we should do once the virus clears up.
There is much confusion with this virus bombing and the destruction of Mechanicus.
Something has changed. Our plans had nothing to do with a virus bomb. We didn't need that kind of firepower to subjugate this world. Not with our plans. There was no room in the tactics that would call for such a response.
And not with us all on the ground, let alone.
Certainly not. The War Master wouldn't do this. Not if it was in his right mind.
We encountered witches here in this hall. Perhaps there was confusion with witchcraft.
To such a scale to virus bomb our own men. To bomb his own sons. Something's wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know about your Primarch, World Eater, but Horus has never had a history of gunning down his own to complete the objective. Not like Perturabo. Nasty business.
Angron doesn't make it a point to sit there and chop his own men down for sport, if that's what you're saying.
I'm not saying this was for sport, but this is nothing like the War Master.
If Angron wanted to go about with the mass killing of his own men and brothers, he would rather meet them on the field of battle. Honorable. As honorable as...
Yes. Honorable, certainly, to go one-on-one with a Primarch. That sounds like a honorable fight, indeed.
Better than hiding in a ship and spraying a contagion across the planet's surface.
I'm not exactly convinced this was exactly the War Master's doing. But then again, nobody else can decide to launch it but the War Master himself. Unless something has happened. I don't know. I'm not exactly keen on the idea of immediately assuming the War Master has betrayed us. That our Primarchs in general have betrayed us. I doubt any of them would go quietly allowing the bombing of their own men. All 4 legions were down here. And the Death Guard. They might as well be decimated.
Many my brothers were in open positions.
Yes.
Grim as it is to say, I imagine many did not survive the bombing.
I'm assuming we have like a version of like the plans or whatever that we can reference, right?
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
like,
You know,
yeah.
you know that like you have at least general understanding of the grand scheme. The world eaters were sent into the general streets to pull the civilians and what have you, because there was never to be any survivors here. It's part of why
Yeah.
you expected world eaters are on assignment. You have the Capitol building that is being assaulted by Emperor's children simply because they are expected to be precise enough to make the landing coordinates that it demands. And then the Sons of Horus were sent into the catacombs to eliminate this psyker threat.
Yeah.
What was Death Guard's role?
They're on the outside of the city, keeping pressure from collapsing in on you guys.
Yeah, they were in the
doing
trenches.
a standard trenches assignment,
Gotcha.
hitting the
Yeah.
walls with the Legio Mortis Titan Legion.
So yeah, they are probably fucking wiped to the man.
Um,
Well,
so
going from the books, the trenches did have bunkers and stuff, so some of them did
Yeah.
survive the immediate bombardment, but nowhere near as many survived compared to the other legions.
Yeah.
in character, you're not exactly sure what the numbers will look like when you come out. Out of character,
Yeah.
You're looking at the world eaters got hit hardest because they were out in essentially open streets with no sealed bunkers to go to. The Death Guard moved pretty fucking quick and organized. They took the second most, and then the Sons of Horus and the Emperor's children were in pretty good positions to not get hit.
Like you said, we've done this for a couple 100 years. What's the likelihood of sending a cleanup crew?
I mean, if you're virus bombing a planet, you're not expecting to need to send a cleanup crew. You're expecting that if somebody were to come down, it's going to be a hot minute. But then you also know that there was a Thunderhawk warning you, so this can't have gone to any plan, whoever's plan it was.
Yeah.
And if Tarek decides to share, like, the fact that a Mechanicum ship, an Ordo Reductor, got fucking blown out of the sky is a huge fucking deal. So there's some shit going on in orbit that collectively you can surmise.
Eric is still contemplating the fact that a Mechanicum ship was actually destroyed in orbit.
Yeah. Well, you know it's a Galas of War, which is more of a support ship. Like, this just carries tools of war, but it's still Mechanicum, which means, the prettiest toys in the business.
There's still some defenses and other stuff on it.
Yeah, no, I'm like I said, still the prettiest toys in the business. So like it can hold its own, but you know that you just came from a fucking battleship, the battleship of your legion. The Conqueror is in orbit, so is the flagship of the Death Guard. Like, and then there's a dozen or so other support ships and smaller battle barges. This was not a small scale event.
Ephraim is going to take his helmet off, kind of rest it on a knee from wherever he's found a seat, and kind of lean on it as he thinks. The fact that there was a transmission suggests, well, like I said, something's not right. Maybe this is a betrayal. I don't know. We only have 2 pieces of information, that transmission and the fact that the bomb came down. For now, we're trapped inside of here. I think...
Speak, brother.
What?
There is also there is also the fact that one of the Mechanicum ships was also destroyed from orbit. There seems to be some sort of force not only here on this planet, but also in space.
The enemy did not have air superiority to pull off something like that. We were coming down to the ground for a reason. Battle was not in the air, so if a Mechanicum ship went down, then
4 Legion ships in the air. I doubt that it'd be an outside force.
By the Emperor. I had heard murmurings. But I chalked it up to just nerves with the crusade coming to an end. All right. Well, I think it's safe to assume any Marines down here, we can at least assume we're on the same side as us for now. If anybody else is even alive, our best bet is to try to go deeper into the city, where the mostly the Emperor's children as well as the rest of the Sons of Horus were. They had the best chances of finding places like we did. Maybe we'll even run into some other squads on similar tasks like we were.
I think what we should do is get a full assess of the situation and try to get word back to what's it called at 30K? Earth? I don't think it's called Earth. Is it
Terra? It's still Terra.
Terra.
It's Terra. Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know
it's always Terra in the 40K universe.
I didn't know if it was Terra Prima or not, but
yeah,
they switched to calling it Terra a long time ago.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But we need to get some sort of word back to Terra.
Word back to Terra for sure. But first step in that plan, we have to get off this rock.
Indeed.
And we have 4 Legion cruisers in the sky above. If our worst fears are correct, we're going to have our work cut out for us.
Mm-hmm. Specifically, you know that the fleet up on top, at least before you landed, was comprised of the Vengeful Spirit, the Firebird, the Andronius, the Killing Star, the Indomitable Will, the Gauntlet of Spite, the War Child, and the Conqueror. So only 2 Legion flagships are up there, but there's still a few battle barges.
Yeah, there's fucking like battle barges.
Yeah,
that's yeah.
It's 4 legions worth of fire support. Not the entire legions,
then,
but it's a lot.
A number of escort vessels.
Yeah.
I'm not even bother like listing all of those.
It's enough to assume that an outside force didn't come in and just like pop the fucking Adeptus barge out of the sky.
Yeah, no, I'm just letting you know. You guys know for a fact what the names are, and that there are 8 like frontline combat ships in orbit. At least again before you went down. What it looks like, especially with a Mechanicum ship that burning in orbit, you're not exactly sure what that looks like going forward.
When the Thunderhawk flew by, was that open channels or was that local Vox?
He was broadcasting on wideband frequencies.
Okay.
You wanted as many Sol targets. While you guys aren't Emperor's children, and he isn't super notable enough for you guys to know who that is. He did not care to stay lowbrow at that point. He was trying to get as many people to hear it as possible.
Yeah. With the Thunderhawk flying by and broadcasting to anyone that could hear, we weren't necessarily taken by full surprise. If there are if each legion has its own set of traitors, then it's a strong assumption that I have an idea of who they're going to send down here to make sure we're all dead.
Yes, if their intention is to wipe us out, the War Master would not be so sloppy as to not send a cleanup crew. If he's betrayed the Emperor, he'll want to prevent communication, anybody from slipping between his fingers.
If we're lucky, it's just a standard fare world eaters that will be dropping down.
It's almost like being back home. I want to look around this room or chamber or whatever the hell it is. We're at least Tarek and Ephraim. We're 113th. We're subterranean assault. I want to see if we can find potentially any like underground passageways, even if it's just a sewage system. Any way to move to another part of the city to potentially link up somewhere else in the hopes of finding other survivors, because they likely have also gone underground.
Yeah.
To escape.
You can spend a little bit of time, for better or worse. The only way in and out of this chamber is the way you came. It appears to be a dead end as a sort of antechamber for whatever the fuck that was you destroyed. And it's also probably why when you close the doors, you can at least be, at least now, very self-assured that none of the virus, Life Eater virus, is going to get in here.
Yeah.
You're effectively sealed. That said, from what you've mapped so far, you know that these catacombs sprawl for miles in each direction.
Yeah.
So once you head out, you're not forced to go to the top side. You could make different turns and see about trying to find other Sons of Horus first.
Okay. And there's nothing our Tech Marine can interact with to maybe get some information in here?
No, not here.
Damn.
You'd have to head out to some of the other chambers. This was very religious iconography and low tech.
Okay.
That said, yes.
Are the bodies of the witches still in here?
Oh yeah. I mean, they're just people at the end of the day. Dead people now, but people.
That's perfectly fine. Eric is going to use his plasma pistol to make sure all of the remains are burned.
Yeah, absolutely. They're dead as fuck. They're ashes, bro. Tarek, if you'd like, you could give me a tech test to see about possibly boosting your Vox. See if maybe you can get something out, or see if any transmissions are happening.
Let's see. Sure, I can definitely work on that. I have.
Yeah, you guys have hours in here, and you're a Tech Marine. Like it's not hard for you to think to like fiddle with that for a bit.
Yeah. Is the dice system not working?
It'd be our luck.
Yeah, right.
Okay, there we go. For whatever reason,
yeah, I was gonna say LastBot is online.
Yeah, it was online. It's just apparently my Discord wasn't wanting to cooperate with commands.
Oh, yeah, fair.
So this is not repairing a weapon or vehicle, so it's just going to be this dice roll?
Yeah, no, you're just jury rigging a little bit of a thing.
That's perfectly fine. I get total of 6 icons, 1 exalted, 4 normal, no wrath.
Okay. Well, you won't be able to like push the exalted icon without failing because it was DC 5. But you can absolutely push. The comms are largely quiet, but you can hear on a couple of frequencies as you just start flickering through them quickly using your augments to react more quickly than even a Space Marine generally would be able to. And find what are active and being used. You can find that there's a few disjointed figurines, all individually of there's one Death Guard, two Emperor's Children, and a Sons of Horus, all kind of repeating, if anyone can hear this frequency, we're alive, we're here. They give their coordinates. And you're not sure if they are just repeating or if they set the message to loop.
It's enough to
At the
know that
very
at least
least,
some
you know
comms
you're
are
not the only
running.
ones now.
Yeah.
Yeah, both
Okay.
of the Emperor's Children are in different parts of the Precentor's Palace, the Capitol building. The Death Guard are absolutely still in the trenches. And they report that their sergeant has been lost, but they intend to continue the fight. And then the Sons of Horus are general working order, and they're in the catacombs as well.
Wow. Mm. There is some activities on the Vox channels, faint as they are, but they are there. Though
Are you
very
able
few in
to-
number.
Are you able to hear anything of value, or is it just noise?
Unfortunately, it would appear that it is mostly calls of maydays. Some are at least broadcasting locations, so there are some safe zones from the virus bombing.
Are you able to figure out which one's closest?
A moment,
I can
please.
at least buy us or get us a plan once we can open the doors.
I'm not gonna make you roll for it. The Sons of Horus are closest, but with how the catacombs tend to twist about, it might be they are closest as the crow flies, but they might be a little harder to get to than, say, the Emperor's Children at the Precentor's Palace, because once you get above ground, it's a pretty straight shot through the streets.
Depending on which one you would rather go with first, Brother Ephraim, you would either be with one of our own or the Emperor's Children.
I would try to link up with our own, see if any of our captains on the ground are still standing. They might have more information than we do.
Indeed.
But if we can't get to them, then anybody else who's on the ground will do. But I want to prioritize finding a captain.
Indeed. Royal leader.
The Son of Horus that is broadcasting does include his name in the message. He is Atharel Cadmius. He is not from your company, but you know him at least vaguely. He's a pretty solid line captain. He has a squad of TAC Marines himself.
Indeed. Royal leader.
Yes, Tech.
Do you have any activity on your comms? I cannot seem to hear nothing else from your brothers.
I've got nothing so far. But considering they were in the most exposed position, that's not shocking.
Do you use particular frequencies for your radios?
I can give you our typical ones.
I will try and see if I can boost or find any signals amongst them.
Yeah, you're already boosted, so just trying to tune into the frequencies that you're given. You still don't get anything, but at the same time, you're dealing with world eaters. Tech is not their forte. They may not be immediately broadcasting for SOSs.
There is silence. This does not bode well.
Harkin, you know your brothers well enough. You know if you were stuck here with a bunch of world eaters, there'd just be arguing about like who could be at fault, who they need to kill, and what they're going to do as soon as they get out. And there'd probably be a couple of blowing off steam fistfights.
Knowing them, the ones that were able to make it to shelter, are trying to figure out who needs to be put down. And possibly punching each other in the face to get out some tension.
A bombardment like this, there's no justifying it. This is a coward's move.
Yeah.
Your father has taught you that much at least.
Yeah, definitely.
You kill a man, he's going to be awake, he's going to be facing you, and he's going to be armed.
Some of them are probably calling out cowardice for using the virus bomb.
If they are, it is not on the Vox channel.
Oh, no, they'd be talking to each other. To be honest, the Vox, for longer range communication, not used often. It's used if someone chases a fanatic or a dangerous creature off a cliff and goes for a tumble.
You could just see Tarek's helm looking at you. Silent.
Nick Marine is unamused.
We all fight side by side and put things to the axe. Not really much need to communicate at longer frequencies usually.
Indeed.
I would say we don't even use it to call in for a Thunderbird to pick us up. It's usually a Thunderhawk to pick us up. It's usually they come in and tell us it's time to get out of the pool.
That said, you wouldn't put your brothers out of the fight yet. Of anyone that would be fast enough to get to cover that would otherwise be unreachable, it would be your people. And then you got a fair few dreadnoughts, and those are fairly resistant to virus bombs.
I myself am interested to see how they intend to keep us quiet. Maybe they'll launch a second set when we start crawling out. Maybe they'll send someone down to be thorough.
If one bomb wasn't enough, I don't think they're going to continue to send more. They want to end this as quickly as possible, and so long as we have holes to hide in, the virus bombs won't be effective. They'll likely send Astartes down here.
Tarek, you know your father.
Yeah.
And you've been through difficult phases like this before, with planets that just decided Imperial compliance was never going to be for them. They were too different, too haughty, too confident, what have you. If a virus bomb didn't work, usually the next step was beating the shit out of the planet with macro cannons, because they don't give a fuck about sealed chambers. That said, if ships are falling, that may or may not be an option.
Yeah. They're either going to hammer the planet or they're going to send the Astartes.
Yeah.
Any Astartes that are going to be loyal anyways.
Yeah. Another note You guys have seen enough virus bombs. The atmosphere is going to be fucked up for a while. Thunderhawks are going to have a hard time entering Atmo. Even larger landing craft are going to be a bit screwed. So even if they decide to send Astartes after you, you can expect that their forces are going to more trickle in than swamp you. And perhaps you can use that to buy time. Perhaps you can use that to get into better positions, what have you. But you can expect that you're not going to get hammered immediately. It just won't be possible.
I suppose it was too much to ask to go charging across battlefields in Astartes plate, just squashing things and moving from cover to cover. I guess it was a matter of time before we went back to hiding in the mud and using guerrilla tactics, as they call it. Astartes aren't supposed to fight Astartes.
Grim. But our next step is to regroup, form a plan, and hopefully get people off this rock back to Terra. Give word of what's happened here.
I appreciate the perspective on a grander goal, but we need to focus step by step right now. They're going to do everything in their power to stop us from leaving this world. We need to do everything in our power to figure that step out. Getting to Terra is a bit lofty right now. Because even if we do manage to secure a way off, we have to actually survive leaving the atmosphere, leaving the system. They're not going to be able to send... Yes, Derek.
That is also assuming there's even any space where they craft for us to salvage.
Yes. If they do send Astartes down, they're not going to be able to send in mass waves. There's going to be too much of a mess in the air for them to do that. There's a chance, if they are going to be dropping troops or vehicles and such, we could potentially commandeer a vehicle that way.
Yeah, because they can't drop pod. Anything that they can use to bring in Astartes, they'd have to be able to use to bring out.
Yeah.
Any drop pod would be immediately destroyed by the inevitable raging storms.
Problem is, that sort of thing is best suited to a small team. And I think I can speak from all of us here that we would want to get as many of our brothers off this rock as possible.
Indeed.
So, I think we still stick to our plan. We link up with others, see what the situation is, get more information. Then, if possible, we see about mounting a counter-strike if they do send troops down. See if we can, I don't know, get behind them or something. Find some way to commandeer Thunderhawk and get off this rock. But until we find the others, I think we should stick to staying underground.
It'll be some time before we're good to go up. I will continue to monitor the channels with my brothers to see if receive any word, but
Well, we shouldn't open the doors until the time frame for the virus bombs passed. Even being underground, that stuff spreads like wildfire. So once the virus bomb passes, we can go out the doors. But cities like this are all kinds of interconnected. And Tarek and I know our way underground. And if there are any other surviving 113th, they do too. Not to say others are incompetent, but we know our stuff. We'll use the underground, the catacombs, and various passages to work our way around until we can find others. We'll almost undoubtedly run into somebody else. If they're on the Vox, there are others alive out there, and they're almost certainly in similar places like we are.
at time, the only thing we can do is wait.
Right. Waiting is something I can do. Yeah, I think that's all Ephraim's going to have to say for now.
Yeah.
Ephraim's used to waiting in holes.
Kinky?
I mean, depending on how much downtime we have, maybe he'll talk more about where he's from.
You guys got 12 hours, minimum.
Yeah, I don't want to like backstory dump session 2.
And when I was 5.
No, God, no.
Session 2, vamp for 12 hours. Go.
Jesus.
All right. Well, if everybody'd like to move on, you guys mend your wounds, fix your armor, and you prepare for the inevitable surfacing, so to speak, even if you intend to stay underground. And with time, you make out the rumblings of the first few hours. It's deathly silent, and then you hear the second phase hit, as sudden through the doors there is a rumbling, and you can't feel the chamber shake, so to speak, but you can feel the vibrations, as you know what happens when you use a Life Eater virus. The next part is to ignite, and there's inevitable firestorms going on every inch of this planet. And they go and they go and they continue, and eventually the rumbling dies down and everything goes still again, and it's about time.
Well, hope you're all ready.
Yeah, Ephraim will stand up, helmet on, and pick up his boulder.
Eric looks like he's in a kneeling position with his mechadendrites in front of him. Anyone who would have been paying attention would hear that there is buzzing as he is panting in binary.
As you guys exit the chamber, the Vox doesn't really clear up. Tarek, you note that, like, at least for the moment, there is a lot of static. There's atmospheric interference is just through the roof right now.
Mm-hmm. It would appear that there are no full changes amongst the spectrums.
Yeah,
but
you
with
can.
the activity of the virus, there is more interference than normal.
Well, I think it's safe to say the last of the locals are likely wiped out. So, let's stick to our plan. Let's keep underground. Definitely keep a ear to the ground on the Vox. Just in case, Tarek. If we come close to somebody underground, we might be able to pick something up.
Should we at least should we send out word that we're heading over to Cadius?
Let's, you know what? Yeah. Let's, put out word that we're on our way. Do not give away our location, though. Just in case. I don't think they're gonna have any backup down here quite yet, but just in case. I want to be gone if they do send somebody to investigate.
Understood.
So you want to put out the essentially the Ollie Ollie Oxen Free signal that you're on your way over to the Sons of Horus?
In a sense. I guess the message would be more along the lines of like, actually, what is our squad designation? Did we have a squad designation?
I mean, they probably gave us a temporary one.
Yeah, you're like a Azure team. Like, if people got a fucking rainbow of colors.
Azure is a term commonly used to refer to the lower regions of the Asari body.
Oh my god.
Why are you like this?
You've seen us lovers?
Hey, you want to talk about that? You GM your fucking Mass Effect game, and then we'll talk.
Oh, sweet.
Maybe I will.
God.
Listen, I miss Unity.
Okay,
He was a good
okay, back on track.
Yeah, back on track.
Yeah.
Brother Cadmius. This is the Azure team. We hear your calls and we are making our way to your location.
I assume you do the quote unquote stealthy thing, even though you know that there's too much atmospheric interference for anything to reach the ships. You're just keeping it to the frequency that they were transmitting it on.
Roughly speaking, yeah.
Cool. Give me a moment. I'm gonna make a. Don't worry about it. So you guys want to head that way? What? Well, I'm doing this. You guys can do a thing for me. Survival to kind of discern the best directions to go as you're walking along.
Sure.
Do you have a better one, Zamian?
I have 4 dice for it.
I have 5 dice.
I also have 4 dice.
Brandon?
But are we
Okay.
all rolling, or is it one person?
It'll be one person. Designate a leader.
No.
Designate the person with 5 dice.
Don't want
Okay.
to do too many cooks in the kitchen. You know.
Okay. Eric will roll survive. Wow, I get 5 icons.
Damn.
One exalted with 3 normals, no wraths.
Yeah, I see that. You got a glory.
Hold
No, you
on. That is the incorrect. Oh no.
Yeah,
that is-
no, I got 5 icons. You got 7 icons and a glory.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Wait.
So you wanna store up that glory?
Yes, we will go from 4. We will go from 4 to 5.
All right.
Or is the glory just a separate track?
No, it's a group track. However, if you want to put it in the chat so that others know where the glory is at, I'm sure that would be helpful of you. Otherwise, if you guys just want to keep track of it individually, I'm fucking whatever you people want to do. I'm keeping track of my ruin. If you happen to be at 0 glory, that's your problem.
You said we're at 5?
Yep, you're at 5 now
roughly speaking.
with Tarek's edition.
Ephraim just want to push the group to move at speed.
Well, tell you what,
Because-
with the amount of successes on that survival test, you can Tarek is confident enough to be able to lead you guys with some speed. So if you push to move at speed, that is entirely possible.
Yeah, because Ephraim is anyways very confident that the locals have been wiped out, so we're not really expecting to be ambushed because they had no idea the virus bomb was coming.
Yeah, very correct. As you guys continue down these catacombs, you can see there are spots where ambushes were set up. And for a moment, like instinct kicks in and you almost want to stop to avoid these ambushes, and you realize, wait, everybody has to be dead. There's no way somebody could survive. And lo and behold, the closer to the surface you get, the more you see just fucking charred ashes. And the deeper down you get, the more you see just piles of putrid goo.
Yeah, Ephraim only wants to stop if he actually sees like an Astartes weapon or anything that looks like it could be like bolter ammo. Essentially,
nothing on these people.
Well, just in case there were, other squads that we happened to come by who, didn't get somewhere safe before the bomb came down. Yeah. Because as a player, I don't know how closely squads were deployed in this area. So as a general, like in case Ephraim does know other squads were supposed to be nearby, keeping an eye out for any signs of that or anything like that.
Well, good news, bad news. Bad news, there's not really a lot of ammo to pick up. In fact, there's none on your pretty direct path. Good news, there were a lot of squads. So the fact that there's not ammo to pick up is probably a good sign.
Yeah.
Eric will keep an eye out for anything that could be a cogitator or other tech equipment.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Once you like even just get a few rooms through, there are places with telecoms banks and computer systems and what have you. Like there are whole ass not just administrative offices, but like essentially front desks for like, hello, welcome to our temple. Let's just get you a ticket and blah 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 blah. Would you like to be an extra heretic today? So there are plenty of computer systems you pass by.
Yeah, Eric will actually want to glance at one of these before they move too far along, simply to see if there's any useful like building data or structural things for them to kind of.
You know what? Want to make me a tech? Want to make me a tech test?
Do I have anything that would give me bonuses? Let me double check real quick.
You're tricking the machine spirit into giving you access, so. AKA, you're hacking the device.
Hack the planet.
Okay,
I love that that's what they call hacking. It's not hacking. It's tricking the machine spirit.
Yes.
Yes.
I have nothing.
Yeah.
So there's going to be another 10 with 4 icons, 1 exalted, 2 normal.
Yeah, this is a civilian thing. It's not you got enough icons. Yeah, you actually can get a nice little at least a local sort of map, because obviously they don't want anyone getting lost in these catacombs, and they want people to know which religious chambers to go to for what they want to do.
Mm-hmm. Or which ones are currently having sermons of such.
Yeah, so you essentially get a local area map.
I will use that to reference our location in relations to Hadmius.
Yeah, absolutely. Between that, the successes on your survival roll, you guys can get there pretty quickly. You will find Sergeant Cadmius's I guess it's technically Sergeant Cadmius because you don't do 2S. Do you do that? English sucks. Sergeant Cadmius's location pretty quickly. There is another antechamber like yours. The doors aren't quite as big, and it doesn't look as fancy, but it looks like this was probably like a religious room that they were sent in to destroy or burn or what have you.
Okay.
The doors are still closed.
Okay. We're effectively outside the room.
Yeah. You
Okay.
make your way over and head right out.
Knock knock.
We'll broadcast on the local Vox channels instead of using the relay system. Rather, Academy, yes. This is the Azure squad. We are outside of the location you were of your last known location.
Okay. Tell me what, Mr. Tech Priest, who is speaking. You want to give me a quick persuasion?
Sure.
Just for funsies.
Let's see. I have a thing from B. That's +3 influence. I don't think this actually affects that, does it?
No, influence is used for buying things. You want to. It is your fellowship plus your however many ranks you put in it.
Okay. Persuasion. I at least have 4 dice to that, so that's better than nothing.
You know, you're a decent human being at the very least.
I'm sociable, not completely robotic.
Yeah.
2 icons.
Okay. They will. After a few moments, there's no response, but the doors do begin to shutter open, and there is a squad of 5 Marines with bolt guns leveled for a few brief moments. Everyone want to give me well, it's not perception, is it? In this,
It is, I think.
it is perception. I fucking
Awareness.
I've forgotten since the last one.
Yeah, it's awareness.
Awareness. That's it. Yeah, give me awareness test. I want to be correct with the terminology, and
That is entirely fair.
if anybody knows, on an actual play broadcast, we play a lot of systems. I forget which skills are which sometimes.
Not consistent.
Maximum is how much? Players +2 for glory?
Yeah,
Mhm.
players +2.
Okay.
So we're capped.
Well, I have a
But
glory
you
on
can
my
use
roll.
glory for more than just putting into your glory pool.
Yeah.
Rule. Just
So if I say gain +1 die to a roll, will it just be whatever my next roll is?
presumably, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to do that then, because everything else I'm seeing is season the initiative or, doing a crit or
Oh, so yeah, you could in this case I let you just in the post you can increase dice pool. It'd be, you say you're spending glory to add dice to a test that you're about to do.
okay.
But in this case, because it's not going to be probably a huge deal, I'll let you be like, oh, we're going to do that preemptively so that we can keep this glory relevant.
Yeah, because otherwise it just kind of gets wasted. That kind of feels bad.
Yeah. I mean, you can also use it to make narrative declarations.
Oh, well, see, that's not on the cheat sheets, so I didn't realize.
Yeah.
That's actually on the character sheet, if I remember correctly.
It's in the core book as one of the way to spend glory points.
Yeah, under the Wrath section, uses for Wrath, one of them is make a narrative declaration. So, Ephraim, you could just also say now you're in charge.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, so the door's open and they're pointing at us, yeah?
Yeah, obviously they're just threat assessing.
Well, I will use it to narratively say Ephraim is going to make a point of lowering his rifle, which if they're familiar with Ephraim, I mean, that should mean
something. These are people. There are lots of companies of Space Marines. They may not know you personally, but they know of you. You are still a son of Horus like them.
Yeah, and he's just gonna shout,
We're on the same side.
Cadmius will raise his arm just as a like in an L shape, fist up, and the rest of the team will lower their weapons. Sorry, brother. It's a little bit unclear who's on what side as of late.
That is one of the reasons why we came looking for you. You're closest to us. We were hoping you had more information.
Yes,
From what we know,
we heard your
Mechanicum
broadcast.
ship went down. Mechanicum ship went down. A Thunderhawk from, what was his name, Tarvitz, made some broadcast. Said something about the incoming bomb. We went underground, and then the bombs fell. That's all we know. The best we figured, for whatever reason, the War Master and his brothers have elected for this course of action. I think it's safe to say all of us down here, at least for now, are brothers in whatever the fuck is coming next.
Yes, I absorbed another squad, Squad Jade. They lost 2, not making it fast enough to the shelter here. Could hear them. Anyway, we'll need to decide our next steps. We'll need to get organized. Do you know any others who survived?
Eric has heard other mentions across the Vox.
So far, there was just your team, 2 teams in the palace, and 1 of the Death Guard from the trenches. I heard nothing else on the boxes.
Emperor's Children and Death Guard, huh?
Indeed.
Yes, no words from any other world eaters, though. He'll kind of tilt his head towards Harkin.
Not.
Yeah, Harkin. You're a little bit closer to the surface now. Do you want to make me a tech test real quick, just as you tune through some frequencies?
Boy, would I!
Yeah. Let's see how good you are with a Vox.
That's fucking Dice Maiden.
That is Dice Maiden. We want Wrathbot.
Yo, more glory, dude.
Hell yeah.
Narratively say you do tune in?
No, well, if I can say that, I want to, but I want to say I get in contact with someone high.
Ooh, that's hot. That's hot.
Ooh, that's a nice narrative there.
You know what? I'm gonna say you can, and I'm gonna be one moment.
And he's looking up a name.
There is a name I need to find. Yeah.
Well, upside, it's not Karn.
No, it's definitely not Karn.
Not yet.
Well, guy Karn.
Alternate history, we're the ones that throw Karn in front of a Land Raider.
Yeah.
Jesus.
He's probably getting locked in a box right now and just being fed fucking people for him to beat the fuck out of.
Probably. Oh, Jesus.
All right. Harkin.
Yep.
My friend, buddy, pal, loyalist to the Emperor. You do manage to tune in on frequencies that are what you would say very fucking loud now. As world eaters have begun to emerge from shelters, they have begun to broadcast onto their frequencies as loud and proud and angry as they can, demanding answers from their father.
I will look to the group. A number of
More
them...
than that.
Oh no.
There is a brother Captain Erlin who is currently rallying loyalist Marines to his cause and he is demanding that his father face him in combat instead of cowering like a child coward in his ship.
Oh. So, good news. The world eaters on the surface, good number of them are alive and loud. And Erlin is what's his rank? Captain? Or
He's a brother captain, yeah.
brother captain.
But given the disjointed function of your general legion, brother captain is still pretty notable. Like, this guy is a big name.
Yeah. Brother Captain Erlin is rallying loyalists and calling on Angron to take the field instead of hiding like a petulant child. Sorry, petulant child coward. Kind of.
Yeah, coward is important.
That's certainly something.
It is. But that's kind of where the good news stopped on that. Because I would assume that Harkin is aware that Angron would be like, all right, let's fucking go.
Yeah, you know what your dad's like. You know that a challenge is one of the things that he finds it hard to resist.
Yeah. If that signal reaches his ears, we are going to have a Primarch on the surface. It's what Harkin communicates.
And I think it best we stay away from wherever Yoland is. I understand your brothers want honorable combat, but let's face some facts here. Neither you nor I or any of us in this room is going to take down the Primarch, especially not Angron.
Agreed. We should avoid any confrontation with Primarchs that we can.
I doubt the War Master's going to come down here.
Not to talk.
Yes, and I don't think, no offense to you, Harkin, and yours, but if Angron comes down here, it's going to be against the War Master's plan. So, if anything, if Angron does come down here, avoid, but maybe it'll be for our advantage. In some way, as small as it may be.
Regrettably, I agree. Much as I'd like to get direct answers, I believe that I have the answers I need, and word needs to be taken to the Emperor. But I believe you might be hard-pressed to get a number of World Eaters to follow. Not without a notable counter voice within our Legion to quell the desire for combat.
Right. Well, Sergeant, I'm of the mind to hopefully track down a captain of ours. At least somebody who might have more information than we do. What say you? You're technically in command if we're still doing this sort of thing right now.
He looks to the rest of his Marines for a moment, and then back to you. We're going to need organization. We're going to need numbers. We need to gather what few or many still linger down here. And we either need to set up barricades or we need to move to the palace to assist the Emperor's children in mounting a defense. If a Primarch does come down here, the good news is I do not believe they will take the chance of a Primarch's death to bombard us. And if a Primarch does come down here, we'll want to be as fortified as we possibly can be.
I would normally agree that they wouldn't take the risk, but all things considered, if you'd asked me 24 hours ago if the War Master would bomb not just his own legion, but 3 other legions, I would have told you no way. So I think we'd be careful about assumptions in that regard, but you might be right.
I understand what you're saying, but regardless, our father is not a stupid man. He's not going to risk the outright revolt of all world eaters.
Yes, our father. I'm starting to think my only father died on my home world.
I want to know what's going on before I make my final decision.
Oh, we aren't going to get
Yes,
answers standing here.
Yes, we're moving through the lower tunnels, making our way deeper into the city. Does that sound agreeable?
Agreed. The squad we've linked up with, Jade, had come from the northwest. We should be able to get a little bit of distance before we have to start making guesswork of the tunnels. The Tech Marine, he nods to Tarek, should help assist the rest of the way.
Okay. Ephraim is going to look to make sure what Marines are here. Like, none of them is like missing a leg effectively.
No, they're all generally pristine.
Okay.
You guys fought one of the harder fights, going to the heart of the artifact, and then if you get hit by World Eater or Life Eater virus, you're fucking gone. So
yeah, it's more to the point of
the survivors.
It's more to the point of Ephraim wants to establish, like, we're going to be moving fast. And while Marines can move through a lot, he wants to make sure, like, okay, nobody is missing a leg, because that's what's going to take to stop a Marine from running effectively.
Yeah, no one has a leg that is not visible. If their leg is automatic or not, maybe. But either way, they have 2 of them.
Cool. All right, we've been moving at speed, so as long as you're fine with moving at that rate, we want to hustle.
Celerity will be to our benefit.
Yes, especially since we've been open on the Vox. Who knows if a fucking squad of Seekers are going to find their way here.
Yeah, they'll get moving with you. So I will allow essentially a choice, which I guess is not much of a choice because I know what you guys are going to choose. A choice between a survival check or a tech check.
Damn, dude, that's wild.
What's the tech check for?
It is either you are stopping to draw maps from cogitators that you pass by, or you are doing the mapping yourself.
Tech check I did.
Yeah, I figured you guys would choose check because you have a fucking Tech Marine, but I give you the option.
Okay.
Obviously, if you decide you have something else.
That is the wrong bot.
Yes,
the wrong bot.
Obviously, if you have something else you'd rather use that you think you can argue is reasonable, let me know. But otherwise, damn, dude, talk about sucking ass.
Got 2 icons at least, but my rolls were good earlier.
Fortunately, this cogitator is a little bit more stubborn, my friend. It is not allowing you through.
Indeed.
So you can, at the cost of time, make another check, or if you don't want to look like a clown in front of your friends, you can pretend that you know where you're going, and I will roll a chance to see if you go the right direction.
Well, I will take more time.
Okay.
For the machine, so it must be willing.
Yeah, Ephraim, Harkin, you are stopped for longer than maybe you'd like. Harkin, on your World Eater channels, the shouting has only grown louder, right up until uno momento. I'm gonna do a thing. Don't worry about it.
Well, I get
You're good for now
on the second check.
Cool. You managed to get into this cogitator, no problem. With a little bit of extra time. You give it the right of percussive maintenance, and it'll let you in. And you will be able to get moving again. Now the comms have started to grow louder as squads ring out series of between SOSs and questions to the Primarchs above, whether they'd be able to hear them or not, and shouts of just vitriol as some of the loyalists have not taken this as well as you have. There is a number of squads in the area that are either broadcasting a call to link up or a question for command.
Yeah. I'm surprised by that.
It appears 2 of them have lost their sergeants just before the bombing, and 1 is just a couple of dudes who managed to barely make it into the shelter.
Brother Ephraim, Brother Academius,
Yes.
There are stragglers about in the local area. We wish to gather them as we make our way to the Emperor's children.
Yes, let's round them up. We need every Astartes willing to fight.
Indeed. The closest being 2 individuals, I believe, in this direction.
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to have to zigzag essentially to link up with them instead of heading straight northwest towards the Precentor's palace. But you will. It's not going to require additional checks to get to them. However, given the time frame, once you have found these 2 stragglers, Harkin,
yes,
my brother, my friend, my loyalist. You hear a voice over the Vox. It is calm and yet angry. And it is booming yet quiet. It is your father. And he is announcing the Red Angel comes.
Arkin will, in a very verging on panic, but mixed with excitement and mixed with fear. Angron plans to take the field. He's announced it over the World Eater channels.
Concerning
beyond concern.
The 2 Sons of Horus that you meet up with are, one of them is mildly injured, nothing to particularly slow them down, but they are not at full health. The other appears to be largely okay and has been supporting his brother to make sure that the man has stamina when is needed.
You injured one. To me, I will attend thy wounds.
Sure. One Alexine Hajanarius, sort of, he doesn't limp, but he is holding his side. Apparently, a stray shot got under the plating and it hit him right in the stomach.
Indeed.
He might have been a bit too confident about the armor absorbing everything, and somebody got just that fucking lucky before going down. You want to make me a Medicaid check?
I get 4 icons.
Cool.
Do I get bonuses from a Medicaid thing? Actually, I kind of forget, but in any case, I get 4 icons for now.
Yeah. It's 1, 2, 4.
No.
You have a Medicaid Mechadendrite, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you should get bonuses to that. Just let me know what they are.
I'm trying to remember where that actually is, so it's gonna take me a second.
Using on the same species, and you said you got 4 icons?
Correct. Armor.
Okay.
Astartes.
Are you able to shift any icons?
Negative.
No, you have all normal icons, so you can't shift anything. So you, as is, without like something changing it, you are restoring 1 wound to this man.
I am at least amending.
Alternatively, you can keep him at wounds, but you can remove his hindered condition, which will allow him to move at full speed with no issues. He'll still be hurt. He's just not feeling it. Like I said, that is barring anything your Medicaid Mechadendrite does.
Right, which I'm trying to remember what book that is in.
I believe it's in the basic book because that's AdMech shit. Weapons, armor, imperial equipment, military equipment, cosmetics, implants, Mechadendrite, Medicaid, +1 die to Medicaid tests.
Ah, I get an extra die.
And you can do essentially combat healing, as you can inject toxins, sedatives, or stimulants as a simple action.
Ooh, that extra die gives me a complication.
No, it doesn't, because that's not your glory die. The extra die is just a 1. It does nothing for you.
Okay.
I'm not going to do that to you.
Okay.
So yeah, you just got 4 normal icons. So you can either heal him for 1 or remove the hindered condition.
Remove the hindered condition for now. We need to be on the move versus.
You effectively give him a combination of stimulants and painkillers. He is not better, but he is more mobile.
He is functional.
Yeah, he does not need to be supported at any point. There is no needing to save his strength for bursts of movement.
Activity.
Yeah. Okay. So you got those 2. There's still a couple more squads that are still displaying their SOS. And then there is the growing number of Emperor's Children signatures that are, they go live as they pop up, do an SOS, and then they promptly go fucking silent. There's no rhyme or reason to it. You don't think that they're fighting just based on your wartime knowledge. It could be that as they come out of their own shelters, they are doing their SOS, they get linked up with, and then they go silent to be stealthy, or there's something more at work. And then all three of you would be able to tell that.
Yeah.
Okay. Make our way towards the other ones.
That's what you want to do? Is you want to continue to link up with Sons of Horus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. In this case, I would like another test real quick. Tech or survival?
I will go with the normal tech. Ah, nice. I get 6 icons and a glory. I will. Yeah. Can I use that glory to provide further aid to the wounded Marine?
Sure, I will allow you to use the glory to heal one wound on him. Just you're moving and you're still you're doing well enough that you can provide some aid. It's not going to be like I am giving you dedicated medical attention, so you can't give multiple wounds. So.
Right. But it's
but it is like I did just dope you up with stimulants that will eventually wear off. I want to kind of nip this in the bud.
Let's check on you real quick. Yes, I can also do this.
Yes, your bones are broken. You should see a doctor. What has the reaction on the radio been from Angron saying that he's coming to fuck shit up?
It is continued world eater provocation and dissonant fuck yous. Standard world eater protocol.
Yeah.
Of belligerence and numerous and belligerent.
There's a reason why I was assigned to assist another squad, because I wouldn't be, I'm level-headed for a world eater.
Or lucky.
Yeah, the bar kind of low.
Yeah. All right. So you will find this another company of or at least another squad of Sons of Horus. Easily enough, you move quickly. You manage to link up with them. You add another 4 to your retinue. You are now sitting at 15, 14 Sons of Horus and 1 World Eater. And you're growing effectively quasi-company.
Now, if we get them all to take their helmets off, we can hold this planet off from any kind of invasion.
Yeah, you're right, man. Just name them all captains, and then you win.
It's that easy.
Yeah, I imagine that we're trying to, if we are in contact with other squads, if they've reached out, we kind of spread the word of what's going on. Of hey, we're headed here. Angron's looking to take the field, so you do you.
Herrick has not really been broadcasting a whole lot. He's just listening to the frequencies, figuring out a route from the maps that he has, and is just linking up with them as we come across them. So,
sorry about that. What was
that? Herrick has not been broadcasting any radio frequencies.
Yeah, no. As far as I know, you guys have been radio silent.
Yeah. It's like, yes, I hear them based on these mappings that I was able to get off for the machine spirits over on this terminal. We go here.
Yep. All right. So you guys are gonna try to link up with the last squad?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think that's the plan.
All right. In that case, give me one more roll. The first squad was in a direction that you didn't need to scan for more mapping. The third squads are a little bit farther out.
Well, I get 8 on my tech finding more terminals.
You know what? That's awesome, buddy.
8.
No, that is really good. Fucking goddamn Marines. Remember, kids, normal humans can only roll like up to 8 dice, period.
I'm rolling 10.
Yeah. Though, again, it makes sense. You're a tech Marine. You should be rolling 10. If you weren't rolling 10, the Omnissiah frowns at you. All right. You managed to link back with the last squad. They are a combination of 3. They actually appear to be assault Marines, a lot of them.
I guess we'll need a few of those.
Yeah. You've found pretty much TAC Marines so far. So it's nice to have a little bit of variety.
I'll have them group up with. Brandon, what's your character's name again? I'm sorry.
Harkin.
I'll have the Assault Marines link up with Harkin.
Are they Emperor's children, I assume?
No, these are...
No, they're all Sons of Horus.
Oh, they're all Sons of Horus.
Yeah, no, everyone in the catacombs have been Sons of Horus that you found so far. They are dissonant. Like, as you talk to them, they're all from different companies. Like, almost literally every single one is from a different company, which is, at this point, come to be expected because they did a lot of company mixing before you went on the ground, and now it's starting to kind of make sense. They might have been trying to sabotage you guys.
Who'd have thought?
Yeah, who'd have thought? Who'd have thought that putting a World Eater with a bunch of people who don't respect World Eaters might have gotten some people killed, they hoped. And then also putting a bunch of people who had never worked together. So you have like a 43rd company, a 54th, 102nd. You actually even have two 73rd companies. Like, it's amazing that they found each other.
Interesting.
But you have a good, nice, eclectic collection of Sons of Horus. Should you decide to call yourselves that still?
I'm going back to Literal Wolves. This is betrayal. I'm going back to Literal Wolves. You
know what? Understandable. Have a nice day. How does your effectively a sergeant feel about that?
Hmm?
How do you feel about being a son of Horus at this moment?
It's really up in the air right now. Like,
you know what,
Ephraim is trying to hold out for more information, but the more he's thinking about it, the more it seems like we've been betrayed.
All right. So you have found the lot that it seems like you're gonna find, at least right now, in underground. You have managed to link up, and you have a good 18 Astartes. This is not a small force to scoff at.
Well, 4 of them are going to be our assault team, with Harkin being one of the 4.
Yeah.
We have an attack sergeant. We have Ephraim, who's a...
You have attack captain.
Yeah, Ephraim is functionally a seeker, even though mechanically there isn't really representation for it. His skill set matches that.
Okay. So effectively, we have an assault group, our line group, and then 2 specialists.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
All right, hopefully we can find a captain.
Oh, unfortunately, the only one that I know of is...
Yes, the plan is still to avoid that one. If he wants his honorable battle, he can have it. Honor went out the window and they threw a bomb at us.
A virus bomb, let alone.
Yeah.
Hey,
that's fair.
Harkin.
Yo.
How talkative are you feeling with your brothers right now? Are you only listening into their communications, or are you deciding to say anything back?
He's not saying anything back.
Okay.
He knows that ends up being an echo chamber.
Mm-hmm. You want to give me an awareness check then? I'm gonna take this as a higher difficulty number than if you were trying to communicate with your brothers.
Sure, I'll do that. I picked the right bot. 5 with the glory.
Excellent. Just excellent.
I don't know what to do with that glory. Yeah.
I'll give you some extra information for that. Just so it's not wasted. Because I realize I haven't put you in combat or anything, and that's sort of what they expect the glory to end up being used for, like 70% of the time.
Yeah.
You are continuing to listen in on just the cacophony of your brothers, and to anyone else, it's just gibberish. It's just 1,000 toddlers talking at once. But to you make out each word. You can discern certain voices. You hear brothers you've worked with for decades. Some of them, people you have fought with and have saved your life, and you've saved their lives personally. And you hear among it, by God, there's dozens of them, effectively. And from all of this, you have come to make out that the Thunderhawks of the World Eaters are, regardless of the weather, descending. There are a few that crash, and you hear your brothers cry glory over it and make fun of the deaths of those inside. And there's at least 50, 60 companies of Marines descending.
I will let everyone know that.
There are dozens of Thunderhawks just coming down over the Marines, and your people are clamoring for the fight.
Seems Angron is throwing the, I don't want to say the Legion, but throwing all of my traitorous brethren to field.
Yeah. The good news is this appears to be taking part on the west side of the city. You are on the east side of the city.
To the west, so we have time.
I imagine they'll be busy for a while.
But I believe discretion is the better part of valor.
We make our way to the
What would our
Emperor's
group like to do? Oh, sorry, Tarek. Go on.
We make our way to the Emperor's children if there are no other squads in the area.
Yes.
At the very least. Yeah, at the very least, you've caught all the squads broadcasting. Anyone that you can know the location of on your way towards the Emperor's children, you've caught.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I feel about the Death Guard right now, but I don't know.
You know, for all intents and purposes, they may as well be on the other side of the world right now. Given that a Primarch just dropped between you and them, they are practically a continent away. All right, so you guys are going to head up. Are you going to try to stay underground as long as possible, or are you going to head up and like make your way through the buildings?
I mean, ideally, would like to keep underground because if we're above ground, they might be able to see us. So, if we can, try to keep it underground.
I'm not going to hear an argument from me.
I will keep us underground as we travel then.
All right. You know what I'm going to ask you for.
Attack roll.
Yes, a deception check. No.
Oh, okay. I have deception, so that works.
No, I kid. Yeah, it's tech or survival.
Oh, I get a single complication on my wrath die. But I get 8 total icons with 2 exalted.
Okay. Well, the good news is you are accurate in leading everybody out. The bad news is you're going to come above ground. And you are going to, can everybody make me
awareness check?
Awareness checks.
Oh no.
I'm going to make a general awareness check for the rest of the people, just in case y'all suck ass.
I got
like
one.
That. Like when you suck ass like that.
It's fine. I have 6 icons, but a complication.
At least a frame, it doesn't suck at all. Complication, bro.
But 6 icons.
Well, I get 6 icons with no complications.
Okay. I realize I almost rolled with the wrong dice spot because this shit is hard. Okay, cool. They're not being dumbasses too. So you guys come above ground and you're close enough to the precentor's palace, but like I just sort of explained, you are coming from the southeast. And as you come above ground, you come dangerously close to you can hear land raiders in the distance.
Oh,
Now,
no.
you remember the plans. You guys all pretty much came by drop pod. You had a dangerously low amount of armor, you would argue. Now, y'all made it work because you're not bitches, but the sound of land raiders is a little bit disconcerting.
It seems like they're not fucking around today.
Yep. And I need to make a roll because there was a complication. And I appreciate my players, especially when they complicate things.
No, I'll make things real complicated.
You know, hey, it wasn't you this time.
Oh, that's not what I mean.
I almost rolled the wrong one. Fucking. Cool.
I didn't think it was cool.
So, do people want to make me stealth checks?
I'll make a stealth check.
Sure. I have that. Da, 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 da.
9 dice, only 4 icons. Sure.
10 icons and a glory.
That's
6 icons. No.
Could I say I use that glory to, like, if it looks like somebody is gonna do, like, potentially give away our position, I can stop that?
sure. Good news is they also succeeded.
Okay. Cool.
But I will give you some extra information because you came a little close to this land raider convoy of Emperor's Children. Fun fact.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And you managed to realize, oh shit, shit's probably gonna hit the fan unless we get hidden, and managed to hide among the buildings and the ruined infrastructure. The fires of the virus bomb were not kind, and it's still raining a bit. You know they're probably going to be heavier storms later. This is just the lull. But as you get hidden and get a look at the land raider convoy, after a few minutes you manage to see, just from the rooftops, there is a crossfire of multi-lasers that open up on this convoy. They instantly demolish the first land raider just under a heavy fire of las. And they begin to force the other land raiders back, who cannot get most of their guns high enough to deal with the fire that's going on.
Urge to chop
Looks like they've got that under control.
The urge to chop a tank in half increases.
Yeah, what do your butcher's nails say, bro?
Nothing, because I've not charged anything.
No, they're always there. You're just more in control of them than most people. They say, "Come on, you could do it. You could chop a tank in half. Don't be
I
a
can't.
pussy.
I don't know if I'd survive the after part.
Don't be a pussy."
I like to think that's just. I like to think that's the only thing the butcher's nails say is, "Don't be a pussy." It's the only information you ever get from them.
Yeah. But yeah, you see some of the a couple of land raiders, like Emperor's Children Marines, pour out and like try to establish fire at the rooftops. it doesn't do them a lot of good under the M41 multi-laser platforms. And combination of handheld las cannons and other various fire. While the Land Raiders are just not equipped to deal with such an inclined fight. For better or worse, whoever is kicking the ass of these Emperor's Children are really just mucking up their defense.
Right, they seem to have this under control. Let's keep moving.
Here, Arkin whispering himself, discretion, better part of valor, discretion, better part of valor, discretion, better part of valor.
All right, so you guys decide to split away from that and continue around, or?
Yeah, I think so. Because I mean, if they're already struggling, I don't think we need to jump in the fray there.
Fair.
I mean, less people want to jump in. I'm not the only one playing here, so.
I know. We have an objective. We need to do it.
Effectively, no. We're just making our way towards the Emperor's Children in the capital, or in the center building.
The Precentor's Palace.
Yes, there we go, that thing.
Yeah, that thing, it's not really that important.
Not as much as our survival.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. I'm not going to call for any more checks. It's not hard. You have maps. You have topographical maps. And you know the way to the Precentor's Palace. If you were still on the assault, this would have been a suicide run, but you're not. You are now the guerrillas of this warfare. And so moving around is just a matter of making sure you don't get caught. And soon enough, after a fair bit of jog, fair bit of hike, you get your way to the Precentor's Palace, where Emperor's Children have begun to already mount a pretty comprehensive defense.
Does it look like approaching we might get shot at?
You know what? Tell you what. As you reach the perimeter, you want to give me a persuasion check?
Anybody got more than 3 days?
I have 5, 4.
Oh, please.
Imagine being less persuasive than the fucking Tech Marine, bro.
I have a 4 as well.
Imagine being less persuasive than the World Eater.
Something. There is only war.
War who? What is it good for?
We're maxed out on Wrath, so I will actually take one. We're maxed out on Glory, so I'll take one. Wrath/Glory. So I will take one, go and bring us down to 4, so I can go from 4 to 5.
Okay.
So I am rolling 5 dice at this. Oh no. That is 2 icons and a complication.
You know what? That's real fucking neato.
I understand if you shoot me, it's fine.
They shoot the one World Eater in their entire group.
Something, Tarek says, screams something about Horus, and then they immediately open fire.
He's not like this.
God, a complication. Give me one moment. Give me one moment.
I will take this time to go and have a bio break of myself.
Yeah, why don't we take a 5-minute break? It's been a good hour and a half.
I probably spoke binary at them.
I think you didn't give the proper codes that have just been made up off the top of their heads.
Yeah, well, we weren't broadcasting or listening in too much on them, except for the fact that they were still broadcasting their location. So that would make sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I am going to make a roll and let you know the consequences of that roll. That's dice maiden still. Kill myself.
Oh no. That is a fair number of icons.
So, Tarek, could you do me a favor?
No.
Could you roll your defense? That's right.
Are you effectively having me do a dodge roll?
If your icons, it just exceeds the defense. Okay, so I do hit. 1 moment. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
I can shift any exalted icons. As long as the remaining, which means I can shift 1 for 1 extra damage.
Okay.
Which is what we call super poggers.
Okay.
One moment. Fucking kill myself because literally I have to swap between many different.
Like you juggle those source materials.
Yeah, man. Fucking actually kill myself. Okay, it's 10 plus 1 ED, so it's 11. Equal to the weapon's extra damage value. So it's just 1 ED plus 1 for the shifted. So I'm gonna roll the wrong dice spot. Cool, that's 1 extra damage. So that's 11 damage going your way.
I take shock.
That's great. As one of the Emperor's children just fucking opens fire as you do not give the correct impromptu call signs.
Face your hostilities. We are brothers in arms here, not the traitors.
Just for everyone's information, that man shot a bolt gun. That was what a bolt gun does to a space marine. That is your average space marine's bolt gun use to a space marine. That's not scary at all.
I mean, if he was a little bit more luckier, he would have got through.
You want to make me a because you're not fighting back.
I am.
Make me another like persuasion in this case.
Can I make a leadership roll on that one? Just have him stop firing.
Yeah, you can leadership roll it. I'll allow it. That is reasonable enough.
I will take another die from the glory pool, dropping us down to 3. And
Cool.
make it go from 5 dice to 6.
How does assisting work again?
You add your dice pool, I believe, because I remember us deciding assisting was really OP.
Does it say in the little cheat sheet that people
help action? You may assist another. The helper grants bonus dice equal to their attribute or skill rating.
Whichever is higher.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, because unless you want to choose the lower one, it'd be kind of a dick move, but
yeah, I'd like to assist, and everyone will yell, "Stand down! We fight for the Emperor!" And give him 3 extra dice.
Okay, so this is not going to a dice pool of 9.
Yeah, I do have ranks in leadership, which is how I'm rationalizing helping.
Mm-hmm.
How many is your rank?
I have 1, so I have 4 dice.
I have 1 with 5 dice. Okay.
I have one for 4 dice.
I am the most leadership out of the three of us.
I am a berserker.
You're
not really leadership material.
Unless, of course, you're leading other berserkers, then there's something there.
He just chooses not to.
Yeah.
Generally.
Yeah, you would prefer to just make sure they snipe dead and walk away.
Yeah.
So I will roll
lead
9
with murder.
dice. Ooh, 10 icons, no complications.
I'll tell you what,
Let's
you really
go.
fucking succeeded at that.
Let's fucking go.
All right. Well, the fire stops as another Emperor's Children. Stand down. Stand down. Sorry, we've been dealing with ambushes. Hard to tell who's who. Come. And he will wave you, and what looked like a just solid stone wall opens up to a doorway. That apparently they have a whole section of wall they have carefully carved out to be put back in at times while they to disguise their entrance.
That makes sense.
It seems convoluted, but at the same time, that feels real Emperor's Children to you.
Yeah.
And also, you can't really criticize what they're going to do when the circumstances are this fucking wacky.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure everybody gets in before going in myself.
Yeah.
Okay. Ephraim is the last one in, and he gets in as well. I'm not gonna throw something at you. I'm not that mean yet. And you have what looks like an actual combination. There's some as you get in, you see what is essentially going into the more main part of this base. You see Emperor's Children primarily, naturally. But you also see some Sons of Horus and even a few World Eaters.
Intriguing.
And yet no Death Guard still.
They were all in the trenches. They might as well be on the other side of the world by now.
Yes, I don't know if you've heard, but Angron has graced the battlefield.
Oh, don't worry. We've heard. We had to stop a few of the local eaters from escaping effectively to go join the fighting.
My brother's here.
Yes. We have probably a company and a half of World Eaters. Those that were fighting around the palace and the streets managed to escape towards us in effort to flee the bombing. I don't figure this is the majority. We've been hearing, at least from them, there's been a lot of chatter over their frequencies.
Oh, yes. Chatter by our standards. Noise to everyone else's, I imagine.
Yeah, something glorious battle.
Yes, we passed a column of land raiders taken out by multi-lasers on the way here.
So they've begun.
Yes.
We figured that if they were going to attack from anywhere, the clearest streets are to the south, so we set up a couple of banks of multi-lasers to anti-armor any assaults.
They're positioned well enough. They stopped that first column anyways. And the Marines that got out weren't in a good situation.
They'll be back.
Almost certainly.
We'll have to, I'll relay to the others. Perhaps we can get some salvage out of it.
Yes.
Are any of you low on equipment?
I wouldn't mind another axe.
I still have plenty of ammunition, but I've gone through a mag so far. Killing the locals before everything went down.
I would require some replenishments or plasma if you have any spare.
Plasma might be a little harder. We're still gathering out materials. Most of us that were armed with heavy weapons had melters or las cannons. But we'll see what we can do.
Are there any captains around?
Yeah, we've got a few of them.
Any from the Sons of Horus?
I haven't exactly vetted everyone myself, but I'm sure that we have several. Tell you what, Saul has become our impromptu command. Go talk to him, and he'll probably know. Head towards the Precentor's palace. He should be at the base of it.
Right. All right then.
Ephraim will start making his way in that direction, I guess.
All right. Does everybody decide to follow, or is there anything else anybody would like to do? You are effectively in a safe zone for right now.
Love to get another axe of any kind.
Yeah, if you want to stop and do that, this is a good opportunity to, I believe it's influence. I want to test this out, even though I wouldn't normally ask for this. Requisitioning war gear. Modified by the rarity of war gear. You get one for every matching keyword beyond the first. You gain one bonus die. If you fail the influence check, so you're going to essentially make an influence test. And you want what kind of axe did you say you wanted? A power axe?
I mean, I would love another power axe, but realistically, another not knife.
So you're looking for any melee equipment?
Yeah, I'm looking for any melee equipment suitable of an Astartes.
Okay, tell you what, it's going to be low. We'll see how many, depending on how many successes you get on the influence test, and you may pre-spend wealth effectively to buy successes. That will determine what kind of weapon you end up getting.
Okay. I have no wealth to spend. I spent all of it. Power axes are expensive.
Commit die.
I don't see influence. That's the issue I'm having. Oh, there it
should be at the bottom of your first page.
Fellowship -1, so 3. So I have 3 dice.
Mm-hmm.
Roll that. Three for 3. Exalted icon.
Okay.
I don't know if I can use that to upgrade it at all or not, but
in this case, it counts as 2 successes on its own. So
okay.
It is by virtue of giving you more successes upgrading it.
Sounds good.
So you will not find a power axe, but you will get a power sword.
Deal.
It has less extra damage, but higher AP. It also does not have a rending, but it does have parry.
We're talking.
But by definition of what it is, more officers tend to carry power swords than they do axes. Those that fell in the Precentor's palace had more swords than axes. If you'd rolled really well, you might have been able to get a power fist. Which would have been what we call funny.
In any case, Herrick will try to see if there's a Medicaid station so that he can assist with any of the injured.
I mean, there is a whole section near the Precentor's Palace that is set up specifically for medical needs of the Astartes.
Indeed.
Like they have the Emperor's Children have really set this up well. It is impressive that they have pretty immediately made this their encampment. For all intents and purposes, this is a fort.
Our brothers could have done it better. But they did all right, I guess.
No, fair. Got to get the warrior lodges in here.
Oh, yeah, that's gone so well.
Yeah.
How does this getting stuff work? I was checking the book.
You can make an influence test for equipment. It's modified by the rarity of the equipment and what you're so basically what you're looking for. And if you don't get enough successes, you can trade wealth in for in successes.
Okay, so how do I determine how much influence I have? I do have noted that I have different things giving me bonuses.
What's your fellowship?
Your base influence is fellowship -1. If you have things from your background that are giving you extra influence, then you'll additionally add that and what have you.
I have something giving me bonus fellowship, but I'm not sure if I put that there to indicate more influence.
There are backgrounds that give you influence, so.
Well, I know I have a background giving me +1. I have another +2 influence listed elsewhere, so it looks like I have a total of +3 influence.
Damn, all right.
So if I have 1 fellowship, is it minimum 1, or does that become 0 for the base influence?
1 second. I think it said minimum 1 because I was just reading through it, but I scrolled past to go look at Power Sword.
Yeah, influence. Give me a moment. I'm gonna take a look because that is a really good question. Influence bonus. How much influence you gain? That's an ascension thing.
Yeah. Does anybody else have like an actual like fellowship bonus?
I mean,
I'm wondering if I
have fellowship 4.
I have fellowship 3.
So I'm not sure if like there was like a racial bonus that got factored in or something.
There is a racial bonus.
So
intercessors have +2.
To make an influence test, first tell the GM what orders you're giving. Figure out what the well, this is for specifically. I don't know. This is an influence test. Or you want to carry out the task and exactly what you want them to do. Jim uses this information to establish DN for the influence test. Based on the influence someone would need to wield to give that order. You must share at least 1 keyword with the individual or organization you're influencing. For every additional keyword you share beyond the first, you gain a +1 die bonus to the influence test. Once you establish the DN and any bonuses, roll your influence against the DN. Complications and this applies normally. A particular bad failure with a complication may result in permanently losing a point of influence at GM's discretion. That is specifically just influence test. Page 205 is for requisition
gear.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I can't find a place that says that influence is minimum 1. I guess if your fellowship sucks ass, you could have no influence. But you get some racially, so I doubt that you'd ever hit 0.
Okay, but, so my fellowship bonus is a racial thing. Okay. So that means I have base 2, and then I have another +3 influence coming in. So I have 5 influence overall.
Sure.
So I would roll 5 dice to acquire whatever it is I'm trying to acquire.
Yeah, you're essentially going to tell me what you want to try to get. That gives me the ability to determine what the difficulty number is, and then you roll your thing. If I tell you that you haven't gotten it, you can spend wealth to try to get up to the successes you need.
Okay. So first and foremost, I would like to get my hands on a suppressor, as they call it, a silencer.
Okay.
Which is value 3.
Yep.
That
may not be the value may not be particularly accurate, given that you are working in a Space Marine only looted area.
Yeah, which it is tagged as like it does have the Imperium keyword. So do I get an extra die for that if I heard correctly?
No, because you get an extra die for every keyword that matches past the first.
Okay.
The first
keywords are Imperium, Scum, and Any.
So you get 1 for the Any.
Okay.
Essentially, you match Imperium, and then after that, you get +1 for each one after, and then you just have Any. You don't have Scum, so.
Okay. 1 icon.
All right. And then Ali, if you want to make your roll for your plasma ammo.
So I guess I have 3. So I got +1. Oh, I have a thing. Influence +3. But do I get 6 dice for this? I'm confused.
You have your influence plus whatever bonuses you get. Your influence is generally fellowship -1 plus if you're a space marine, so you get 2. That is part of your package, and then if you have anything from your background, that gives you extra.
Okay, so I have influence of 5. Then
cool.
Okay, so I'll roll 5 dice. I get 4 kinds. Cool.
Zemian.
Yes.
You'll get your silencer.
Hot. There's one other thing I want to try to get, but I'll let you resolve Ali first.
Okay. And you said you got 4 total icons, Ali. That is enough. You can find some plasma ammo. You find some hydrogen flasks for sure. What else did you want to try to get, Zemian?
I wanted to see if I could get my hands on some Kraken bolt rounds. Because we're gonna be fucking fighting Astartes, so
all right, that's gonna be a little bit more difficult given you were not going in fighting Astartes, but they knew that there were mutants and witches and shit, so some of them might have been packing it. Luckily you get +1 die because Adeptus Astartes and Imperium.
3 icons. I don't know if complication applies to influence roll.
It does. It technically costs you a point of wealth.
Oh no.
Or either that or permanent. If it's bad enough, it reduces your influence.
Okay. Well, take that wealth reduction.
Yeah. I'm gonna say at this point you don't. You might be able to find some leads or put it into the ears hey, we could use some Kraken bolt rounds because this is not going to be an easy fight.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it clear I'm a seeker. I'm a seeker. I am, at least, because this is mostly aimed for children, so most of them probably don't know who I am. I'll make it clear. I am very capable with a gun. I have a cut above. And I think Ephraim might be cocky enough to at least get the point across to imply to them that if Lucius is to swords, Ephraim is to guns, and he would be greatly appreciative of some Kraken bolt rounds. If
Lucius sneezes and feels fairly threatened somewhere in the encampment.
Fair.
But yeah, no. So you don't get them at this moment, at least. But you can lay the groundwork. I'm not gonna be as on top of the raw for influence tests and whatnot. This is a guerrilla war zone. Acquiring goods is going to be a little different.
Yeah.
That said, you have put it into people like, hey, the Seekers are going to need this kind of bolt round because if we're going to go hunting our brethren, we need a way to get punched through our armor.
Yeah.
Otherwise, these fights are going to take too many rounds and too much time, and that is not to our advantage.
Yeah, and like I'm absolutely down if they find enough of it. I'm willing to trade mags of standard ammunition for mags of crack.
Tell you what, keep your wealth that would have been deducted for that complication. That will be the compensation there.
If they find the ammo.
If they find the ammo, they're going to ask for some of your mags.
Okay.
It's going to be more than just influence. It'll be a trade. You are bargaining.
That's fine.
All right. So once you guys have done your effective like shopping / getting settled into the swing of this area and getting your general information, you head towards the base of the Precentor's Palace.
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Yep.
That's
also where the Medicaid station's at, so that's where Tarek would go next after finding plasma.
Yeah, your Medicaid encampment is going to be on the east side. Saul Tarvitz is located in the atrium of the Precentor's Palace.
All right. Oh. From little approach.
Yeah, just as a quick denotion, Tarek, are you separating off to go to the medical encampment, or are you staying with your buddies for now to talk to this guy and then gonna try to go after?
I will split off from the group.
Okay, so we will handle this separately. Harkin and Ephraim, you meet with Saul Tarvitz, who apparently, at least despite just being a captain of the Emperor's Children, seems to be commanding pretty heavy authority and delegating with other members. Pretty well. How do you decide to approach? At the moment, he is talking to what looks like another Emperor's Children.
Yeah. I will approach pretty casually because other Legion. Are you Saul Tarvitz?
He pauses his discussion. Sorry. Yes. Do you need something?
It was suggested we should come talk with you about what can be done. We just came in, we brought in, including myself, 18 more Sarties, a few World Eaters, a few Emperor's Children, predominantly sons.
One moment. He turns back to the Emperor's Children. I'll discuss with you later. See about shoring up the west side. If the Primarch truly is on the ground, we need to make sure we're ready. Even he can't hold off enough fire. And if we can ward him off, maybe he'll decide for a fight elsewhere. The other Marine nods and departs to go about his duties, and he turns back towards you. 18 Marines, you say? Well, every little bit counts. We thank you for your contribution in coming here. What can I do for you?
Well, first and foremost, I'm wondering if any of the command structure of the Suns are around at all, or if this is mostly just you lot.
Well, we have a few captains from the Sons of Horus, though you may not want to call them such anymore. They've been a bit grumpy about the name. We have a Garva Loken and a Tarek Torgaden, as well as a few others.
Oh, that's good to hear. All right. If I wanted to find them, where are they at?
There's been a lot of moving around. We've been going in and out, doing strike forces, consolidate the Marines that we can, and disrupt any of the landing. Before the weather gets hard, we want to discourage the Thunderhawks that have been flying overhead. I imagine that you might be able to find Garville somewhere around the camp, but I know Tarek is out for now, at least.
Right. I had some thoughts about the Thunderhawks. My brother here, well, it tilts his head towards Harkin. We have a thought intentions to get off this rock to try to get a message out to the Emperor. If the Primarchs truly are intending to kill us all, the Emperor needs to know that his sons have gone rogue. I'm of the mind we can maybe, either through a landing or maybe temporarily disabling, trying to get our hands on a couple Thunderhawks.
Well, I have good news and bad news for you. The good news is that by the grace of the Emperor, we have word going out. When I was coming down to land a ship, the Eisenstein, instead of firing upon me like it could have, it has decided to retreat and warp out. I can only hope that loyalists are aboard and getting word back to the Emperor. Otherwise, it'd make no sense. The bad news is, even if we stole a Thunderhawk, that would require us to get a control of a larger ship without being fired upon. Something warp capable.
The more of us that are able to get out of here, even better chances we'll have of alerting the Emperor to this betrayal. One ship escaping is not a guaranteed thing. Who knows? Well, I'll say this, the War Master's thorough. If this was not a spur-of-the-moment decision, then things have been lined up well in advance. There could be nets set up further down the line, beyond Istvan, to catch any runners. The more we send out, the higher chances of genuine escape and passing that message will be. Not to mention, from my counting, we are going to be greatly outnumbered. The more of us that could get out and are more that can aid the Emperor in putting an end to this madness.
Oh, cut out, I think.
Where?
After put an end to this madness. I just heard 2 clicks.
No, that was it.
Oh, okay. I heard 2 clicks, so I thought you were going on and it was just not picking up correctly.
Yep.
He gives a slow nod. That may be true. It's not exactly Thunderhawk getting equipment that we struggle in. It would be getting it past the battle barges. And I am hesitant to waste Marine lives on a task that is almost ultimately going to end in simply them firing upon you. If we can find an opening, I'd be happy to lend equipment to it. But in the meantime, we have a Primarch landing. We have at least 8 ships ready to fire upon us.
Which is why I think we should be looking for ways off this rock to get as many of our brothers off this rock as possible. Either way, we stay, we are outnumbered. Eventually, we will be overrun. Or we take our chances if the opportunity is afforded. Do not get it twisted. I am of the mind to make them pay with as many as I can take out if escape is not an option. But I would like it even better to bring the Emperor's justice to them.
Well, I hope you are. I don't mean to insult any. If you are on the fence, I want you to know this is not a mistake. This is not impromptu. Your war master, he intended this. I'd had my suspicions about my own legion. Were this a regular exercise, perhaps I would have been replaced by Eldalon, but I had smelt unsettling news among my own people. Had I known that this would be the result, perhaps I'd been able to act quicker, but it is by the Emperor's grace that we are able to stand here now. That I stand here with you.
Yes, my doubts have been eroding. Regardless, we are going to have to fight other Astartes now. We need to make sure equipment gets to where it needs to be in the right hands with what little we have. And as we kill, we need to make sure we're salvaging everything that's available.
Agreed. I have teams moving in on ambushes to pick the corpses. We don't have the option of pride. That's long gone. We have the option of survival, and that means doing anything necessary.
Right then. Soul Tarvis. I'll leave you to it then. I'll go try to find some of my own brothers.
The more that you can bring, the better our chances are.
Right.
And to you, World Eater.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I've heard some of the radio communications. I expect to not see very many white and blue. But it is an honor to be able to see you here.
It would be an honor to die for the Emperor. Like these traitor Astartes.
Yes. Make no mistake. They're all traitors. If one thing stands, it's that there is no casualties. There is no collateral. If they fire on you, if they look wrong, you do what you need to do. We're not fighting for middle ground. We're fighting for our lives. The Emperor's grace be with you.
Honor and glory to the battle.
And he gives a curt nod.
Harkin is twitchy.
Yeah, I bet. We will cut to our loyal tech marine, Mr. Tarek.
Mm-hmm.
You head over towards the medical encampment. For now, at least, fairly quiet. There are injuries. People who have been wounded before everything went down, but managed to, by luck or their brother's help, survive the bombing.
Mm-hmm.
Or have been recently wounded in the ambush tactics that the Emperor's children have been leading. But for the most part, it's still quiet. There are a fair few apothecaries and other tech marines who lean towards the medical side of things. But you can tell this part of the encampment is set up for a much wider audience. They're anticipating heavier casualties.
Understandable. Herrick will go over and find an apothecary and just go ask if there's any way he can help out with any of the wounded, seeing as he does have some medical knowledge.
Yeah, you meet with a Varial Asfried, apothecary of the Emperor's children, and he will give you a nod. We don't have much in the way of patience, not yet at least, but I appreciate the earnestness. We could use some help over, and he points towards the southeast part of the encampment. Some of the Emperor world eaters that we managed to reclaim before the Vox channels that got them riled up. They could use some attention.
Understood. I will see to their wounds.
Yeah, the sooner that they're up and moving about, the sooner that we have more boots on the ground.
Affirmative. And I will head over and see what I can do. Hold on.
Sure. You want to make me a couple of Medicaid checks?
Sure.
That'll just be how effective you're being across your patients. You notice that most of the patients are, in fact, Emperor's children. So far, you have yet to see a Death Guard. There's just not a one here.
Yeah. How many do you want me to make?
Just a couple, just two.
Okay.
All right, so you're doing pretty well.
6. I refresh. I guess we go from 3 to 4 glory at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll let you do that. The other two, what are your intentions after while he is attending to patients? You want to try to link back up with him, or
I would like
what
to
are your plans?
I'd like to track down Loken or Turgadden, since it sounds like they're around. Sure, the Emperor's Children guy, it sounds like he has a good head on his shoulders, but, he's Emperor's Children, they're a sort. So, I want to go find some of my own people to see what their plan is, what exactly they want to do.
You want to make me an investigation check?
Sure.
Just as you're talking to people, feel free to assist if you would like, Harkin. Just as you're talking to people and getting bead on the location of a Sons of Horus captain.
What attribute is that connected to?
It is connected to intelligence.
I got 3 for you.
Hey, okay. You know, it's better than 0.
It is better than 0.
2.
2. All right. Well, he's not going to be that easy to find. So, would you like to give me another check for more time to find him?
Sure. I'm assuming Harkin's still assisting.
Unless Harkin decides he would not like to be.
Harkin will fall.
Okay.
3 successes.
All right, 3 successes. It takes a little while. You essentially start by just blank, hey, have you heard of this guy? And then you realize, okay, maybe that's not the best way to start. Have you seen any Sons of Horus? And it turns out, actually, this guy is, once you start to beat in on people not realizing maybe it's Garville Loken, that it's just a Son of Horus, he's actually somewhat notable. Particularly, you find that he has a scratched up pauldron. And that makes him somewhat memorable to the non-Sons of Horus that have seen him. It ends up being that he is sitting and wait for ambush, guarding one of the perimeters to the southwest.
Okay. Well, that's where I'm headed, I guess.
Absolutely. Once you get there, you have to get pretty close to what is essentially the front lines, and they're not monitoring for armored incursion, at least. These are smaller streets. They know that they're going to have to deal with other Marines, but they are still taking up positions in buildings. So it takes a bit to determine which building that Garville is in.
Okay.
But once you do, you see him. He is directing some other Luna Wolves across the different buildings and making sure that the perimeter is tight and everyone is on top of any angle they need to be.
I'll essentially approach and wait to be spoken to.
As you approach, he turns. He does not have his helmet on, so you see his pale, craggy features.
Oh, if he's helmet off, I'm helmet off. Fucking, I hate wearing this thing.
Absolutely. He is actually in a visual capacity. He is in a building. He is not expecting to be shot in the head.
Yeah, fair.
And he looks at you, and there's a big smile that comes to his lips as he gives you a nod. At ease, Marine.
Captain, I've recently arrived with a few of our other brothers. Spoke with a Saul Tarvitz of the Emperor's Children on my way in. Said you were around here somewhere along with Torgadden, so I thought it would best suit me to find at least one of my own legion's captains.
Yes, Torgadden's out. He is gathering what equipment we can, killing what traitors we can.
Right.
Gathering in information we can.
So my question is for you is, what do you need? What do you need me and mine to do? I dropped with a tech marine as well as this world eater here, Harkin. We've been doing well as a small team. If you have need for something like that, we also had a mind of potentially acquiring a Thunderhawk.
He gives a size, he thinks. Well, from what I understand, the plazas are going to be a bloodbath. The World Eaters are confronting their father. He gives a glance over to Harkin for a moment before focusing back on Ephraim.
We'll notice Harkin like twitch at the mention of his father and like he's ready to fucking run off. He's keeping it in.
Attack Marine and an assault Marine. That puts a wide lot on you. We could use, honestly, just about everything. I'm just holding down the line here while others go out on scavenging missions to bring back what they can. All supplies are worthy. If you have a tech marine, perhaps you can see about either disabling a convoy or picking clean some of the carcasses we've made. I'd avoid the west.
Right. I'm not in the business of tangling with Primarchs myself.
Well, it's not just the Primarchs. We don't know if the Titans will come back in and decide to sweep aside the Death Guard.
Right.
We're not tangling with Titans. They won't be able to get into the city, thank the Emperor, but the closer we get to the perimeter, the more dangerous that gets. So if you're going to go west, if you're going to hit the edge of the city, maintain as low profile as you can. We'd love to link up with the Death Guard there, but they might as well be unreachable at this point. Which
if we were managed to connect with them, do you think it would improve the situation?
No one holds trenches like they do. Not particularly in such. He looks up at the sky, which is still roiling with atmospheric pressure that threatens to down any aircraft that dares even enter its proximity.
Particularly
harsh.
So my mental map is clear. West, there are Traitor World Eaters and Angron, and they are pressing an attack further westward against surviving Loyalist World Eaters and Death Guard.
So at the moment, they are wrapping up their fight with the Loyalist World Eaters. 7,000 Marines are clashing in the plazas to the west.
They are effectively in between us and the Death Guard.
Correct. The Death Guard are holding the trenches and reestablishing firing lines. And they're firing upon some World Eaters, but they're not feeling the pressure, not quite yet. The Legio Mortis, with the atmospheric disruptions, aren't able to move in because they cannot get anything on their Auspex arrays. You know, because you can't get anything on your Auspex arrays, so you know that they're not a huge threat right now, but they could come in at any moment if the weather lets up.
Yeah.
So the west is the most dangerous section of the city. The south has been hit by Ember's children, as you've seen, but the other sections you're not quite sure.
It would be beneficial if we could get the Death Guard to this point. This section is very defendable.
It would be beneficial, but we haven't been able to find a route to be able to link any Death Guard, and even if we could, I'm not sure that they have the number to support leaving their position without giving it up entirely.
Well, there's also the question of if the Loyalists will keep Angron busy. Because if Angron sees them moving past, he might redirect his forces.
He actually will turn back to Harkin. You know your Legion best. What say you?
Wherever there is combat, that is where majority of forces. However, if there is a particularly prickly thorn in the side, resources will be devoted to remove it. If the Death Guard are proving to be a nuisance to World Eater forces, there is a chance that if Angron has taken the field, he may move to remove it himself, so as to not spoil the fun. I say that in as grim a circumstance as I can convey. If they prove too much of a problem, Angron will remove them. If not, devote resources from the main combat to deal with them.
No.
It depends on what mood strikes him.
Well, I suppose if anyone can hold a trench line, it would be the Death God. And I suppose that leaves us with the choice. Do we leave them to their fate? Or do we decide to try to reroute them and risk not only the resources of getting them here, but also diverting the ire of a Primarch upon us?
Well, how much do we know of the terrain beyond the immediate combat zones? If there's enough maneuverability, we could salvage a potential land raider as such, or at least a small team like my own. We could take a long route around, but link up with the Death Guard from another direction after circumnavigating the battlefield, and then assess their situation, see if it's possible for them to shift around. Trying to push through the World Eaters conflict will only draw attention, but if we can get them to pull out of that trench line and come around and regroup with us, we can strengthen this position. I know we're not going to be able to get the World Eaters to break away from that conflict, and I don't think we want them to, because they'll keep Angron busy as long as they can, as determined as they are for their honor.
It's a great risk, but if you think you can do it without severe requisition, then I'll leave you to it.
I've done my plenty of time back some time ago doing similar things, fighting these guerrilla ways. It could take some time. Depending on how widespread the fighting is, it might even take a couple days to move stealthily enough without notice, but it's doable. They can't be everywhere at all times, and they can't see everywhere at all times, especially not with the atmosphere like this.
No. I expect we have a few weeks of the atmosphere roiling and keeping them in the dark.
Otherwise, I suggested to Tarvitz of trying to get as many people off this rock as possible to try to rush to the Emperor. He mentioned a barge. The Eisenstein, I believe, slipped the net and got away. But who knows with Horus, he might have put other things in motion to catch fleeing people. I feel like we should try to get as many off the world as possible.
Well, that would require us to catch our own escort ships.
Which is one of the thoughts we had. Small teams that are capable of moving quick and quiet, like Seekers normally do, could potentially find their preferred landing sites, especially these Emperor's Children, since they're regularly funneling land raiders in. They have to have some sort of staging ground. We might be able to get some teams down there and take a few Thunderhawks.
For what we've seen, the Thunderhawks have been coming in and out. They try to do sweeps, those that can get through the atmosphere, but frankly, the heat from the burning of the Life Eater virus has obscured any aspects that close to the ground, and up top, the winds are roiling too hard for them to keep any kind of steady path. Forces them down, and we've been shooting Thunderhawks like, an old Terran saying, fish in a barrel.
Well, if one does come down in a fairly salvageable state, like I said, we have a Tech Marine with us.
Yeah, so if you have a Tech Marine, it may be very worthwhile, even if you can't salvage a Thunderhawk as a whole, you might be able to bring pieces of it back. I can give you coordinates to our ambushes for strafing runs. It'd be up to you to decide if you want to focus on going after the Thunderhawks and trying to get some requisitionable materials out of there, or to try and see if we can slip any Death Guard back this way.
All right.
I doubt you'll be able to do both.
Depending on how long we're here, maybe we can do both. Maybe.
Well, as the time goes on, it'll only get harder on both fronts.
All right. Well, I'm going to, I guess, reconvene with my squad and figure out what we think is going to be our best option.
Understood. I'll leave you to your devices.
Right.
Emperor's speed to you.
Let's hope we can bring the Emperor's justice to these traitors. Oh, before I forget, Tarvet said something about saying Sons of Horus. Are we due for another name change so soon?
Well, if our father has betrayed us, then we are no longer his sons, are we? We are but proud Luna Wolves.
You'll have no complaints from me on that front.
Make sure the others know. I dare not hear that traitorous name from any of them.
Very well. Good luck, Captain.
And to you, soldier.
No. Regrettably put my helmet back on and give a nod to Harkin and start making the way back to hopefully track down our tech buddy.
Harkin will nod back.
Yeah. As you guys are heading back, Tarek, you're wrapping up your duties, at least for the moment. You've found a few patients. You've got them either stable or battle ready again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I will start making my way through the camp to find the rest of my group.
Okay. I assume you guys definitely have each other on your IFF. You can just track their signatures. You guys can meet in the middle. You're in the center of the camp.
Yeah.
Oh, Tech. Well, once again, Luna Wolves.
Back to the beginning again.
Yes. Unfortunately, no spare paint around. Alas.
Indeed.
However, Loken and Torgadon are down here with us. So, that's a glimmer of hope, at least.
Some blessings.
Yes, it sounds like, well, we can stay around here and help with the defenses, or, my preference, really, we go out to the field. Nobody's bucked at our idea of the Thunderhawk, getting one or salvaging parts or what have you. Also, there's another idea. It could take some time, but sneaking out and around the battle and relink with the Death Guard. Assess the situation, see if we can get most, if not all of them, to pull out of those trenches and rejoin us here.
Indeed would be a difficult persuasion.
Yes, maybe. I've not dealt with Death Guard much, but as was mentioned before by others, they hold a line like few others. So, while we have a good defensive position here, it'd be even further strengthened if we had the Death Guard here with us. Because divided, things are going to be even rougher for us.
Indeed, that is a logical conclusion.
Yes. I'm also of the mind of getting that Thunderhawk, though, and seeing if, add extra redundancies, because there was mention of a barge that got out. But knowing the War Master, who can say if that barge will actually reach anybody? So, I'm of the mind to... either one, really. I don't have rank over you, especially not over you. He says to Harkin. But, so I don't want to make a decision for you all. We're all in this together. So, I won't presume to tell you what to do. But either of those two options are of my preference, rather than just sitting around waiting for the violence to come to us.
Right. Good.
If we find any Death Guard, if we can persuade them that a solid defense here would be preferable. But if you plan on finding a Thunderhawk, you will need my services to work the machine spirits.
Yes.
Yeah. My preference would be to strengthen the position here and hold the line, as it were, but that is more a drive than it is a conscious decision.
Captain Loken suggested that doing both may not be possible due to time constraints. However, it was mentioned that this conflict could be a few weeks due to the atmosphere. Maybe longer, who knows? We have a very solid defense. And with Engron down here, they're not going to want to start bombing more than likely, but I'm not going to hold my breath on that either. I'm of the mind if we are efficient about it, put our minds to it, we could potentially do both. Get the Death Guard here, help reinforce, and with the reinforcements, that buys us more time. And, well, they're going to have to keep ferrying things down here. Thunderhawks are going to have to keep coming down here. Realistically, there should not be a short supply of them, or parts. So, if we are able to figure out something with the Death Guard, I don't think we're necessarily out of luck on the Thunderhawk. But if we disregard the Death Guard entirely, we might as well be consigning them to remain out there indefinitely. Because as time goes on, the loyalist world eaters' numbers are going to grow thinner. And once they run out, there's nothing protecting them from Angron.
Indeed.
I regret to say that rescuing Death Guard may only just be delaying the inevitable.
Could be. Could be.
Say we focus our efforts on getting us a way to get as many of our brothers off the planet as possible.
Wiring and keeping several Thunderhawks would prove difficult. Not impossible, mind you, but difficult. Especially if they realize that's what we're doing. But a Thunderhawk can carry a decent number.
At least I think they could. It's actually a question. How many can
one moment.
carry?
It's like 60 Marines.
Yeah, Thunderhawks do not carry a small amount of Marines. Let me give you the exact number.
It's like
okay. I'm not looking for the actual model. Give me the wiki page.
It's like 2 Rhinos, a Dreadnought, and then 60 Marines, depending on equipment.
I would say this would probably be like we might want to think about. We might want to think, like, take time to think on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thunderhawk can take 30 power armor.
30 Space Marines or 15 Terminators.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, at 30 Space Marines per, you did hear earlier that there were 50 companies worth of Trader World Eater landing. There's been a fair few Thunderhawks coming and going, and a good percentage of those are just fucking eating shit because of the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's not a lack of wreckage to scavenge from. It is only a matter of if you can bring that back and if you can find the wreckage wherever it is.
Okay.
Well, sounds like that's what's going to be the plan.
Yep.
Indeed.
All right. Well, oh, go on.
I was going to ask, like, is this wrap up point now?
Yeah, I think this is a good wrap up point. There's a nice little section to sit out on or end on while we get to the next.
Or eventually have to drag pieces of ship together.
Yeah, well, we'll see. There are lots of options to be had, including if you decide to try to just shoot a ship down yourselves. You have a tech marine, and you are Astartes yourselves. You know the weak points of the ship. You can absolutely, like, if you decide to try to catch a ship out, see about doing as little damage as possible while bringing it down.
But
have the firepower to do that is another story.
Oh,
at least have wise weaponry.
You have access to a fair few different toys, depending on how you ask and who you ask. But we'll see how that goes in the next session. I hope everybody has enjoyed this 30K story. Will these loyalists survive? Will they die on this planet? We'll see. Their fathers have betrayed them, and for that they will pay a terrible price. How terrible, we will see.
But thank
Hope you all join us in the next one.
Yep. Thank you, Ray, for listening. Have a great time. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.